You've read the title right, possibly YouTube's first. SPRINGLOCK GLOVES. They work with a special mechanism, and I'm gonna tell you about it in this video. So stay tuned. So let's first talk about what even is a spring lock. What's a spring lock in a glove? Like, what's it doing there? I don't think it has too much of a use in there, does it? Well, I've thought of something. Now, if you have the whole spring lock suit and it's in basically animatronic mode, I don't generally think the hands need to move, since it's just like, hey, look, heads, how is it going? You know, you don't have to do any hand gestures. So I would say all kind of spring lock mechanism you need in the glove is some kind of little lever that basically makes the whole hand stiff, not like this. That's what I'm gonna guess is the only mechanism. And something other important, spring locks only make sense if you don't have to completely switch out the part when you wanna go from animatronic to suit mode, because then again, why do you have spring locks if you can't just use a different whole robot, you know, just let him have the suit on. I'm just gonna guess it's a spring lock suit, so you can just go like, it's a robot, you can put it on as a suit. Again, a robot, suit, robot, suit. You know, you can just switch around very fast and easily to go from a show to some party to anything really. And to have that be as efficient, I don't think you will have to replace like the head animatronic or the gloves. So that's how I'm gonna guess are the gloves. You just switch them, static, movable. How have I thought the system through? You can imagine this being the upper finger and this the lower finger. And there's a little wire that goes through, and these are like kind of sharpened or like sanded down, like rough rounds. So like if this would have tension to this little wire, the glove squeezes on each other on these rough kind of rounds, making them kind of static but still posable, you know? Since you can just for a show, like give them for a show you can just give him like a microphone or something, so he can just sing anything, but for the show effects and stuff. And if you think this is a bit too much, and you say just make it static, or like put a wire in it, making it already static. I already tried that, already put like just a wire in there, but the wire is too sturdy that you can move the fingers. That means you can just do these movements, which again prevents you from being able to grab something like a knife, which, low-wise to the movie, he can grab a knife and stab Vanessa. Before it was like static, so I could only like, yeah, it ended really well. So you basically do need movable joints, which I of course guarantee with this design that I'm working on. There's basically some joints there and there, and making it move and stuff. But this is at the moment just a scrapped idea, so put in the comments if you think that this is a good idea or not, or if you have other ways to make this a bit easier. And this is quite complicated and a very finicky kind of system. Most of this part, it's kind of too complicated. Basically a little winch that you can spin and has a little ratchet, means it doesn't just let go of it, but if you like press it in and then it lets go. Something complicated like that I can just try out and figure out. For now I'm kind of on a tight schedule, so I'm just gonna use them for now. But I'm currently just planning through on my other free time, making this kind of a real spring lock suit. And you want to see some sneak peek of the plans I did? Well, I have in the classes just now drawn some kind of sketches. If you wanna look at these more detailed, I have them on Patreon. And what do I got them for? So basically, this here and all this is just phase 1, making it just a little suit, so I can out of foam, really squishy and safe for kids, and have like a little experiment to play around, so I can like look at the dimensions, the size, if everything is fine and stuff. Phase 2 is gonna be cutting all scraps and stuff out of aluminium. By making them out of aluminium, it's a cheap material, strong, but still bendable and easy cuttable. And I already got quite some. Worked with it in the past and I don't really have a problem with it. So phase 2 is gonna be making a metal spring lock head. Or actually a metal complete spring lock suit. Like I have a welding machine, I have all kinds of servo motors and Arduinos and blah 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 and springs, so I can actually just make robotics, possibly for like arm movements. I could possibly use, the motors from these drills, because these are like really strong and probably are enough for just like the cosplay arm to move and stuff for like performance. And then if it's in suit mode, it's just kind of with a gear or something dislodged, means you don't spin the motor or anything. But that's all just future plans. For now, I'm just gonna continue on phase 1, making this look good and comfortable, because I don't think that the real Springlock suit out of metal will be comfortable. I'll do, of course, my best, but yeah, let's talk about spring locks. Now, you're probably wondering, how did I make the gloves? Simple. Some old gloves for welding, and they're quite heat resistant. That means I can just hot glue on it and stuff, which I haven't done yet. There's also I haven't glued really anything on it yet, but it's just prototype. Just to look if it's great and stuff. I took this around, somewhat measured the lower part, used this more denser foam, wrapped it like around here, and then glued it to have this round shape, and then with this cutter I just like sculpted it to have these pieces glued more things on it, these weird things. Then made here some like nooks and crannies, like you can see here. He has all these wear things like you have in your finger, these all kinds of stuff. I cut them into this, to have this when you move and stuff, even though this is quite hard, means that it's not gonna be able to quite be movable, but for now the mechanism that I'm working on is working quite fine. So like I can move the upper segment, the lower, so it works. Of course not on a little finger, but still posable. Same for the thumb. Since my thumb ends here, it still works. I can still really good, since I can now like turn my hand. Before it was like static, so I could only like I'm gonna it ended really well. But being able to like angle this around the glove, I have full mobility. Just making sure it holds in there. Like it just barely slipped out there. And the grabability, I can also like grab things. Oh, of course it's kind of slippery, so it won't work perfectly, but it looks, it works, and it's comfortable, which is debatable. Well, now you got this foam part. Now how do you get this, have more of a leather feel to it? Because if you look at some behind the scene pics, it clearly is leather, or somewhat leathery. I don't think it's plastic. It would make sense, mostly back then, since it was around the 80s, 1985. But what I did is basically take a can of acrylic paint, and then I put all the individual parts on wires and I dunked them inside. After I dunked them in paint, I just hanged them off here so they could drip down here and stuff on my lamp. That's basically how I did it. So basically, you can see that's the spring lock part. This is a weird ass piece. I can actually go close with my phone camera, since my main camera is kind of at the moment starting to break. Equipment. It's professional. It didn't go to Wish or somewhere. Oh, there it is. I have also thought of a different design. Another design. So basically, you have first this hinge, like the upper part, you know. Okay, that's also an interesting movement. The upper hinge, and there's this lower hinge. But there's another third. It's this one. That means I will need kind of a hinge design like this. That also can, it goes around, you know. That's where this thing comes in. It can twist and has attachment for like another that goes like this. So you can just like put this here, it turns, and through having like here another hinge, it's gonna be able to go up and down and stuff. The only problem is this gets so thin. My 3D printer, my FDM 3D printer, it cannot print it. And I think I just broke my keyboard. Oh, I can just 3D print another. So that was this design. Normally you can like attach. Why is this broken? Go here. Oh. Attach. So like you can see first off, it's this hinge, this upwards, the upper hinge, you know, that sits here, and then again you can just reuse this one. That then goes along with these, you know. So the lower part, it can move up and down, and upper, left and right, you know. Can I go up and down and left and right, you know, up and down and left and right. Then the original spring lock idea was just the same design as like normal pens have, like ball pens. You just like pull it up, you turn it, and then basically locks in whilst the wire is like tensioned, so it will stay in that position until you again harder pull on it and release it. And honestly, the new design that I just now literally making the video thought of is way better, where you just like have a little spin knob that is also a pulley, you know, basically like this, and you can turn this for it to go inside. And it's also a winch, means it goes inside and stays tensioned. If you're wondering how I made these other parts, you know, these are also like 3D printed and then just glued on top, because it looks more accurate like that. And I don't really can think of any use for I can't think of any use for it. So I hope you think through how to make your own design on the gloves for the accurate Spring Bonnie movie cosplay, and maybe get your different opinion on how to look at spring locks, like having them just one piece without having to interchange anything, to have it as efficient as possible. So I want to hear your thoughts on this, so stick them in the comments. Thanks for watching until now, and see you in the next video.